Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? How do you
Mm,
get into just setting goals and creating, I guess I would call it momentum? How do you start this process to move forward, especially if you're in this place where you don't know where to begin?
mhm. So it's again identifying the end goal. All right, what is it that you want to achieve? And then we reverse engineer it from that and work out the steps, work out the little destinations along the way. It's like if you GPS to a destination you want to get to, and then all of these other little destinations pop up along the way, and you might think, "Oh, I just want to go straight to that destination." That's the ideal. But then along the way, you get detoured over here, and actually that looks pretty good. I'll enjoy the view from here for a little bit, and I'll take some time. And the journey is actually probably it is the best part in achieving that destination. And when you know that or embrace that not everything is going to go according to plan. I was an event manager in my previous corporate life. And one thing I knew is that nothing ever goes according to plan. So even though you can set the North Star, you can set your why, okay, this is where I want to go. This is how I'm going to get there. These are the steps that I need to take. These are the contacts I need to make. These are the skills that I need to acquire. Knowing all of that is fantastic. And really that does give you the depth of knowledge to say, if I acquire all these things, then there is no way I can't reach that goal, technically. But also the daily reminders, the daily action, making sure that you look at your week. I like to set my week from Sunday. I have a reassess where I'm at and how I feel about where I'm at on the whole scope of things, not just professionally, but personally with my family and everything. Like, we are a whole being. And so we can't just look at one aspect. And so when we look at all the aspects and constantly reassess, reaffirm, make sure, yep, this is the direction that I want to go, even though it may seem redundant to a point that, okay, I seem to just be writing the same things down. But that reiteration is that reminder, that fuel, and that desire to keep you going. So I think that's probably one of the most important parts, as well as really honing in on who you are as a person and learning to love who you are in the moment. A lot of things that people come to me about is they're like, I don't like who I am. I want to be this person, or I want to be here. And this person, like, they almost despise who they are in that moment. And it's heartbreaking because I never see them like that. But it's helping them bring out the beautiful qualities that they don't even realize are so wonderful and necessary in this world, and the impact that they make on others, even though it may not be where they want to be. But we need to just honor the process. Okay, you're here now, but these are the beautiful things you do now, and then these are the things that you need to do to get to where you want to be in the near or distant future. But it's breaking that down into steps and just taking action, but understanding that there will be setbacks. But when we look at it, the stairway of success, it's like, yes, it might be going up, up, and then it will crash a bit like the ebb and flows of the heart. But in actuality, the levels are just that little bit higher the next time. And then you go up, and then it may crash down and be like, oh man, I'm such a failure. But it's like, well, actually, you're not. You've learned. And look, you're actually, again, progressively higher than you were the last time. So yeah, they're the primary things that big things, the primary things that I look at when I work with people.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think the only time you're ever actually a failure is when you don't try.
Mm,
And that can be, that can be a hard pill for people to swallow and hear that, but it's the truth, because the difference between success and failure in life is action, period. There's no other way that you're going to get to what you want, right? And that's whether or not you're trying to be a high performer or a great parent or an awesome business owner, or just in this journey of getting this place of compassion and love. You mentioned something about self-love, and I think it's a conversation that probably is not had enough, because people get in this place where they're trying to build goals, they're trying to be resilient, they're trying to create this life on the other side of whatever that catalyst may be. And yet there's this elephant in the room, if you will, about self-love and about the narrative we have for ourselves. If you're a person who is in this place where you're like, yeah, I hear everything you're saying, Ria, but like I don't love myself. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to connect to that. How could they start that process?
Ugh. Well, there is no correct one starting line, is there? It's start where you are. And the most intense way that I've learnt to really look myself in the face, look myself in the eyes, and try to connect. And that's looking in the mirror. Nothing is, it's actually when the first time you try to connect yourself and you look into your eyes in a mirror, it's uncomfortable. And most people just don't want to do it. And like people say they have their mirror face, they look in the mirror and they're like, they kind of move their face to look the way that they want to look because, they don't think that they're perfect enough or they're not happy with how they look in the mirror. So they've got their mirror face. And I don't have a mirror face because I actually like looking into my own eyes. It's very intense. And I had an experience where, and I know we've done a lot of work with Tony Robbins too. And for the life of me, I can't pronounce the practice, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's when you look at yourself in the mirror and you say the affirmation of, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And repeating that in the mirror, it just reduced me to tears. Like I just sobbed and to the point where I smiled. And it's like I've let go of a lot of hurt and pain that I had carried. And I was on the other side of that. And it was like, it was freeing. It was just so beautiful and freeing to be in that moment. I really, truly loved myself in that moment. And I do every moment since, it's not like I didn't before, but when you truly connect to your soul, there's nothing more powerful.